Hey, welcome in.
Welcome to the Arrowhead Addict podcast.
We are here coming to you live.
Let me tell you, the dopamine, it's flowing.
I am damn excited. Damn excited.
We are so excited to be joining you guys tonight.
Oh!
Well, how you doing, man? Patrick.
Will, Sterling.
Yeah.
Super Bowl champion, two-time Pro Bowler, and Trent Green. Trent Green, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And he picked it up! He picked it up! He's gonna score!
And we'll see you next week. But until then, as always, go Chiefs. Welcome into the Arrowhead Addict podcast, Chiefs post-game show. The Kansas City Chiefs are victorious over the Washington Commanders, 28-7, and the Chiefs move to 5-3 and keep pressure on the Denver Broncos at the top of the AFC West. Patrick Allen here with you, back from vacation, joined by the blogfather Adam Best and the silkiest, smoothest voice in Kansas City radio, Sterling Holmes. And before we get to the Chiefs talk, I just got Sterling. I'm concerned. Are they out of your gel again? What are we doing? What's it? The hair is flatter than it normally is.
Yeah, I apologize. I thought the mustache would make up for the lack of hair gel. No, I worked out before the Chiefs game, tried and calm my nerves, if you will, and I just showered at the club, and I didn't have any gel there. So that's why the hair is slightly flat, like the Chiefs offense came out in the first half flat. Second half, though, they came back. That's my mustache, and they came out strong in the second half.
I think that's really what happened. I think the Chiefs came out, and they were completely jinxed for an entire half by your hair. And but then they rallied, took a look at the mustache, rallied in the second half. Listen, weird game, tale of two halves. The team that we thought was going to show up in the first half showed up in the second half, and you know, this really reminds me, Adam, of those old Chiefs teams that were really good offensively, where sometimes they'd lose focus or they'd get off to a slow start, but they had the firepower that at the end of the day, they would be winning by, you know, a couple of scores. And that's what we saw here. Is that how you kind of feel about this team? Like they're kind of back to who they were. And yeah, they're going to have some stretches maybe where they don't play well, but when they want to turn it on, they sure can.
They really flipped the switch in that second half. I think in the first half, I don't know what was going on, if they were thinking ahead to Buffalo or if they were just making things harder than they needed to. At halftime, I was thinking, guys, Rashee Rice is back. He's your easy button. He's the best yak receiver in the league. Feed the beast. Like, you're making this too hard on yourself, especially with Jalen Moore and Mike Caliendo kind of like struggling a little bit in the first half. Also, I thought that those two guys in this iteration of the line run blocks better than they pass block. Late in the fourth quarter, the running backs were averaging 4.7 yards per carry on 21 totes. You'll take that every day for the Kansas City Chiefs. If they do that, they're winning the football game. It totally was a tale of two halves. And I think, I don't know who said what at halftime, but they got their stuff together and brought it to the Commanders and did what they had to do.
Sterling, thoughts
First
on
half.
the overall game?
Yeah, first half was two scoops of ass. Second half, they handed a can to Washington. And what was in that can? They needed a can opener to open it. And what was it? It was a can of whoop ass. They whooped up on Washington in that second half. Even Aikman at times had to give the Chiefs credit. I know, crazy to even hear a bleeping good thing at all from Aikman, but we finally got something from him. Travis Kelce tying Priest Holmes with the most touchdowns in Chiefs history. That second half was just perfection. They ran the ball. You saw that Andy Reid didn't get too cute. He tried at one time, and luckily he threw to Kareem on fourth down, or else I would have had a aneurysm right there, because they got a little too cute at one point, but they found a way to get it done. I do like Andy being more aggressive on fourth down. I like this change in mindset from him. It's working out swimmingly for him. Special teams, brutal. We can get into that later on in the show with some of the negatives. But you're right, Adam. Jalen Moore might not be as good of a pass blocker as Josh Simmons. Mike Caliendo just isn't as good as Trey Smith. But man, they were good in run block. And you saw it time and time again, especially when the Chiefs went left and they ran behind Kingsley Suamataia and Jalen Moore. It felt like it was just glorious. I mean, there were holes to be had, and Kareem Hunt especially, I thought, did a great job pouncing through said holes. Pacheco, I think, had a nice game as well, broke open a couple of 8 to 10 yarders later on as the game progressed. But yeah, man, I thought Kareem ran with a good passion on those short yardage plays and very, very effective. Always appreciate you, Neil. Hopefully you had a nice glass of bourbon while you watched that game. Love Neil.
Phantom donated $10, says, give Andy his Arrowhead right now for great play selection. When you have a patchwork at offensive line, run the damn ball, which is what they did effectively. I think we just touched on that. Our pal Wiley Possum donated $5 saying, classic OG Patrick Mahomes II. Chiefs played down to a bad opponent in the first half and then go Armageddon in the second half with Trav and Pat leading the way. Yep, old Chiefs are back. And then our guy Slothy donated 20 memberships. And he says, hold on, let me see if I should say this or not. Okay, I'm not going to say anything about it. I don't think he wanted me to read that, right? I don't know. Anyway, that it's a note. Okay. That was a, well, I didn't know that, Richard. How long have we been doing this podcast? I'm just now finding that out, that they can't be scooped up. And I find out live. Anyway, little inside baseball there. Again, this Chiefs offense, man, it's so exciting because they were moving the ball in the first half, but they stumbled a little bit, had some issues. Obviously, the bad Travis Kelce, a bad interception by Mahomes, and then a bad attempt at a catch by Travis Kelce, who I tweeted is going as Kadarius Toney for Halloween. That's why that happened. But the offense is impressive. Another week, another 432 yards of offense. And that, when they didn't even play particularly well in the first half. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but this Buffalo defense has not looked very good. Sterling, are you know, kind of licking your chops a little bit at this offense, maybe going into Buffalo and putting up some big numbers?
Oh, they're always being licked. Okay, come on now. This Chiefs offense right now, I think, can do this against any team in the NFL. I don't care who you are. This Chiefs team is going to drops the ball directly into the hands of the defender for an interception. I'm like, okay, or maybe not. And then Travis Kelce, apparently he needed that because that got him going. And we saw the energy rebound in this game. I am a little annoyed with at times, we just came out flat to start the game. I'm tired of that excuse. You know you have an NFL game coming up. You understand what this is. You know the game starts at 7:15. You know whenever your game is at. You understand this. I don't get how you come out flat time and time again. It hasn't been every game this year, but it's been too many times this year. That is my frustration. Not really here nor there. When you win by 21, doesn't really matter, I guess, but I just don't like doing that. You can't do that against Buffalo. You can't do that against Denver. You can't do it against certain teams. And just real quickly, as I'm seeing right here in the chat, I'm going to give a huge shout out to some of the members on the secondary for KC. They tackle extremely well. You saw Hicks make a great open field tackle. You saw McDuffie. You saw Shamari Connor. You saw Brian Cook. I mean, Jalen Watson, everyone in this secondary. It's a requirement in Spags defense. You have to tackle, and this team does.
Yeah, I thought they, especially in the second half. And look, credit to Washington. I think they came out with a good game plan to move the football early. Marcus Mariota was executing that game plan. But the adjustments that the Chiefs made at halftime, it just all went away. Like all those little quick screens that they had so much room on and guys getting open for the most part, that they were rallying, they were tackling, they were ready for it. So I'm not sure what their game plan was coming in to the game. But maybe they were just worried about big plays or something. They were really off the line of scrimmage. They totally changed that in the second half, Adam, and we're all over it. That nothing that the Commanders were doing in the first half was working in the second.
I thought Patrick Mahomes' old coach, Cliff Kingsbury, came out with a good game script to kind of eat up the clock, give his backup quarterback some confidence. And they were playing well. They were playing well in the first half. But this Washington team without Jaden Daniels, I just don't think they had the talent to come into Arrowhead and steal a primetime game tonight. So, I mean, Marcus Mariota,
is back. You got the NBA rolling, NHL, all the major sports leagues are back. And so Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Playing on Underdog is easy. You just got to pick whether your favorite player is going to go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. If you get your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. I've got one on Underdog for tomorrow night. Big game between the Bucks and the Knicks. I'm going to go over on Giannis at higher on Giannis at 31.5 points. And I'm going to go lower. I'm going to get in so much trouble on Jalen Brunson at 27.5 points. Download the app today and sign up with our promo code Arrowhead Addict to score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Arrowhead Addict. Underdog. Make picks, win money. Sterling, take it away, brother.
Yeah, higher or lower, Patrick? Higher
I'm sorry.
lower.
Apologies to the folks at Underdog.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado, first time games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and President State where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Consult your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncbgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-WIRE. Text HOPE-WIRE 467-369. We're better than
better than the last time. And guys, let us know if you're having stream issues out there. A couple of people mentioned it. It's looking good on my end on YouTube, but let us know. We always want to know. All right, let's get back into this game. 8. He leads the team in receptions. Sterling, is Travis Kelce going to fulfill my preseason prediction that he has 1,000 yards this year?
I think you're on pace for that. I am surprised. I did not think he was going to be that guy this year. I thought he was going to be around 850, but a more efficient 850 than last year. He has been better since Xavier and Rice have come back. I think that's actually helped him. When he was the focal point and he was getting almost 9 targets-ish a game, it's too much. It's too much. Teams are keying in on him. I do think that even with more mouths to feed, it allows more one-on-ones. And you see time and time again, he almost gets lost in the shuffle. Travis Kelce getting lost in the shuffle. That's what we've seen since those guys have come back. I'm very impressed with Kelce's ability. I'm glad he bounced back from the brutal drop interception early on. But yeah, I think if you told me right now, does he get to 1,000 yards, I'd probably lean towards yes.
He has 474 yards receiving now after this game, which puts him on a 17-game pace of 1,007 yards. So other than the stinker that he had where he only had like 26 yards receiving against the Giants, he's been pretty solid and respectable, and he was flirting with it, but he needed like a game like tonight. He needed to have a couple games where he goes over 100 yards. So now he is on pace to do it. And I agree with you, Sterling, and I want to know what you think, Adam. With all of these weapons taking up space where he's clearly not the focal point of defenses. And maybe some games he will be, but they're going to try to stop Rice. They're worried about Worthy, Hollywood Deep. Do you think he kind of has that resurgent season here with this great offense around him?
It's looking like it. He's a secondary or tertiary option when you're thinking from a defensive coordinator standpoint. You have to respect Rashee Rice. He's one of the most dynamic players with the ball in his hands in the entire league. And Xavier Worthy is one of the fastest players in the league, if not the fastest player, with Tyreek Hill now out. He really might be the fastest player in the league. Him or Devon Achane, a few other guys. So you just really can't pay the attention to Travis Kelce that you used to. And maybe he has lost a bit of a step. I was laughing when he just took off on that little flat pass. And he's just like, you know what? I'm not going to do any Kelce shake and bake. I'm just going to sprint and see if I can make it to the end zone. I think like 6 years ago, Travis Kelce makes that to the end zone probably. Maybe 3 years ago he does too. But he kind of like tripped at the end and just like, he's giving it his all. But he's smarter than he's ever been. I think that's one of the things that happens. You continue to win with your mind. I think the drop probably happened because he is just half a step slower, maybe a quarter of a step slower. And he's, it's just tough out there. He is dropping the ball a little bit more, but he, great touchdown. He's showing up. And I think you make a great point. One of the issues I have with this offense, and I think this is happening in the first half, is sometimes they get too democratic. Like they spread the ball around too much. And I think at times it's just 4, 87, 1. The other guys are nice to have, like break glass in case of emergency, but you don't want to get too cute throwing to Noah Gray and throwing to Juju and throwing to Hollywood. It's like those 3 guys are your bread and butter. Those 3 guys, that 3 dragons meme, that's those 3 guys. And I think sometimes they get away from that to their own detriment.
I'm going to give a shout out to Edric. Appreciate the super chat here, Edric, because I want to get into this. Mike Dana, have a game. If Veach finds D-line help, this team might be the most balanced of the Mahomes era. How about those Chiefs? Great call. I do want to get into that because I think Mike Dana had himself a game. Yeah, the interception fell in his hands, but he still caught it. We've seen dudes, especially defensive linemen, drop that ball. Yeah, he brought down Mariota when he was not blocked. But how many times have we seen quarterbacks shake a defensive lineman? He did his job. So, yeah, shout out Mike Dana for doing what he needed to do in those moments. Appreciate that. I thought Amenahu at times looked okay. I thought Karlaftis played a fairly good game overall. I know some folks had some issue with him on that second one where he won quick and didn't bring down Mariota. I get that. I also think that he needed a little help of the Chiefs defense. Yet they give up 7 points. It's just a weird phenomenon of how do you view the Chiefs and defensive line in this game when you look at the overall results were great, but some of the underlying metrics, I think, have you a little concerned if you played a better team.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about good, and the offensive line when whole is good. And while it would be great, and I want the Chiefs to go and get somebody like Breece Hall, I think they can do it with the running backs they have, with the combination of Pacheco and with Hunt and Brashard Smith. They can mix and match those guys to get maybe not a great running game, but a very serviceable running game for a team that has Patrick Mahomes throwing the football to Rashee Rice and has a Hall of Famer and Travis Kelce running around out there. So if you're a second round pick or a third round pick for a guy like that, so a second round pick or a third round pick for a guy like that. So if the teams have realistic expectations, the Chiefs could go in there and get a pretty good player for a bargain of like a 5th round pick or a 4th round pick. And if it means, a missing piece to help them make another Super Bowl run, sign me up. That's what those draft picks are for, man. The chances that the Chiefs are going to pluck a great player in the 5th round, they get good players, but I'd rather get a known quantity that you could put on the team this year and then figure it out later. What do you think, Adam? Should the Chiefs be very active here this week?
I think so, but I think this Buffalo game is going to tell us a lot because Josh Allen is a very hard to sack player. He has seen Steve Spagnuolo defenses a lot. So what Spags is kind of doing right now is supplementing the pass rush with exotic blitzes and all the kind of things he masks and just all the crazy stuff Spags does. I'm just not sure that's going to cut it against the Buffalo Bills. We shall see. But I think they could really use another piece to put this defense over the top. And I think if the pass rush could get home with 4 more, this would be an almost unbeatable team because they're going to play with leads. They're going to make opposing quarterbacks one-dimensional. And right now they can't get home with 4 really. I mean, Sterling pointed it out, like even when Karlaftis wins, there's no one there to clean it up. You're just seeing quarterbacks hanging on to the ball a little too long.
I think the hard part is, and by the way, I'm with you with defensive line. I think probably on the interior is the most likely with Omar Norman Lott going down. That'd be my opinion. I don't know about running back as much as folks are saying because you would have to probably release someone in the running back room. I don't think Brashard Smith's made it to the practice squad, and you'd probably have to release either Pacheco or Hunt. And I don't see that happening. You're going to keep 4 running backs. I don't think so. That's my opinion. I don't believe they'll go up to running back for that being I know it's a minor reason, but I don't think you want to lose Pacheco or Hunt or Brashard Smith. So I think more than likely you're looking at defensive tackle. Elijah Mitchell, maybe I guess you could have, because he's been on the 53, but he's been a healthy scratch every game. So I guess you could go that route. Yeah, I guess I forgot he's actually now on the practice squad and he's in the 53, just not active. So I guess you could go that route. That's a possibility. But then one of those guys are inactive on game day, which not a big loss. I just think that his defensive line more than anything else. I don't think running back is quite in the cards right now.
I was a little shocked tonight that we didn't see more Rashard Smith. I thought tonight might be a breakout game for him off of what he did against the Raiders, because every time he touches the ball, it seems like he's going for a first down. And you saw that even tonight when one of those plays got called back by a penalty. But I again, Andy Reid has a lot of guys to get the ball to, and it just seems like he wasn't in the plans tonight. But I think if you can get him going, and they need to get him going, maybe they can have like another guy that's late 2022, Jerick McKinnon, something like that.
Well, I agree, but I don't think you need to force it. I think, yes, he is probably the best pass catcher. Well, he is the best pass catcher in the running back room. There's no denying that. But when you look at what Pacheco and Hunt were doing on the ground, I don't think you're going to try and force putting Rashard in there. They tried a little earlier in the game, and he got stuffed. And I thought there was a slight hole. Maybe I was wrong, but it looked like he kind of ran into a area where I don't know if Hunt would have done that, but also Hunt's not going to give you that explosive play. I understand what they were trying to do. I didn't have an issue with it. Just something I noticed. He's still young in learning the running back position. I mean, he played 1 year in college at running back. I think that he is the best pass catcher in those screen setups. 100%, I'm with you. But when it comes to running the football, again, Hunt's looked really good over the past few weeks, and Pacheco's looked better. I know we talked about the injury a little bit. He looked fine. He got up, smiling, laughing around, moving around. But I think Hunt has shown more juice than I expected, and I do think the 10-ish touches a game has really helped him. I think he got worn down when he came back to KC last year, touching the ball 25 times a game. There was no chance of any explosion at that point. That 10 to 12 this year, that the nice rotation they have rocking seems to be doing the entire running backs a lot of good.
I think my worry, though, is that Hunt is old. Pacheco is a little injury prone at this point and runs into contact. Neither one of those guys are like, shedding contact or anything. They take their lumps. And if one of them goes down, is Rashard Smith going to be ready? Is he going to be prepared to be an essential cog in this running game in the playoffs at like the most opportune time? So that, I guess that's my concern.
Yeah, I think you're thinking when you're Brett Veach, when you go and you get Elijah Mitchell, is he's that emergency break glass guy for you should somebody get hurt. And I'm not sure, given the way that things have worked out. I think if you were Brett Veach going into the season, your hope would probably have been that Elijah Mitchell is active on game day and Rashard Smith is your inactive guy. But they just have not seemed overly impressed with him. So if they did want to trade for a running back, I do agree with you, Adam. They're an injury away at the running back position for me being like, I don't like that. And then, and then you're left with what's out there on the street. So there could be a player swap as well. We haven't talked about the Chiefs trading anybody away, but Christian Fulton's not playing for this football team. And if there's a team out there that wants some secondary help.
Josh Williams too.
I didn't mean to cut you off there. I think Josh Williams is more realistic. I didn't mean to cut you off. I find it extremely hard to trade Christian Fulton. He hasn't played. He's on a fairly decent contract. The Chiefs have to eat that contract, and you look at the base salary. I mean, they got to eat what it's going to be like $15 million with the trade. I don't think you're getting much. Like, you're not bringing back really anything of value for Fulton. It's a decent contract. He's not playing for this team currently. What team's sitting here going, oh yeah, let's bring that guy in for I don't see it. I think it's kind of a foolhardy endeavor. Same thing. No one's trading for Mitchell. He's not doing anything. No one's trading for. He's no value. Like, if you're going to trade someone, the only value you're really going to get for like a good edge rusher back, like someone decent, who's like, in my opinion, a decent name, you're looking at Jalen Watson. And I don't think you're trading Jalen Watson's my point. So I don't think the Chiefs are trading someone in the secondary for a name. I think you want the depth to begin with in the secondary. I think you're looking at picks. I especially in the season, you don't see a ton of player for player trades. It's more player for pick in season. That's just my full outlook. Sorry about that. Again, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just think when I hear Fulton being traded, maybe it happens and I look like a dumbass. I would be shocked if Fulton got traded.
I guess my devil's advocate case for Christian Fulton getting traded is telling the other team Steve Spagnuolo is kind of a quirky guy, and players get in his doghouse like Joshua Uche, and they just can't get on the field for whatever reason. And then sometimes they go on to be good players the next year for different teams, and he's just not clicking with Spags. And he's not that far removed from being a somewhat coveted, like, second tier free agent and playing some good ball at times when he's healthy. Maybe another team just says Spags doesn't like him. We know how Spags is. Well, but I agree. I think Joshua Williams is more likely. And I think if the Chiefs do go out and get a running back, it's going to be a smaller deal, like Jerome Ford or something. I could see them doing just to add depth, just to add another guy that is maybe underrated by the league, is efficient, can do a little bit of everything. I think that might be somewhat feasible for them, but I just don't expect a huge move really anywhere. I mean, maybe they do go out and get Jalen Phillips. I'd love that, but it's just not really their style.
I agree with you all that the Bills game is gonna tell a lot. If they don't make a move before that Bills game this week, see how they match up against who they probably think, with all due respect to the Indianapolis Colts, and they'll get to test their mettle against them as well. The Chiefs probably think of the Bills as their primary roadblock to getting to a Super Bowl. Hey, I'm really excited about this one, guys. So the guys at True Classic started with a simple mission: to bring premium, comfortable clothing to the masses, because looking and feeling great shouldn't come at a designer price tag. This summer, I needed a wardrobe overhaul. I was looking for new t-shirts. This is well before True Classic decided to become a sponsor of the show. I bought a big variety pack from them. I wore these things to death all summer long. They're comfortable. They fit well in all the right places. And when you try to get anything other than like your run-of-the-mill cheap t-shirt, they're always crazy expensive. And these things are great. I've washed them a lot. They hold up. So I'm just personally endorsing those, and you guys can support the show and know that I've worn True Classic. You go back and look. If I'm wearing a t-shirt in the last 3 months on this show, it's a True Classic. So the people agree, I agree, and you can vote with your dollars. And True Classic has sold 25 million shirts to more than 5 million customers, and they're racking up over 200,000 5-star reviews. The brand isn't just about fabric and fit. It's about helping guys show up every day with confidence and purpose. Their shirts fit where they should, feel incredible, and don't break the bank. You get that tailored look without sacrificing comfort or blowing your budget. Like I said, I've been wearing True Classic for a while now, and you can feel the difference the moment you throw one on. It feels premium. It feels like a nice t-shirt. It's tailored just where you want it. Relax where you need it. Trust me, I've got some spots I need it relaxed. No bunching, no stiff fabric, no BS, just clean, effortless fit that actually works for real life. So get the overpriced designer brands out. Skip the cheap throwaway stuff. True Classic is built for comfort, built to last, and built to give back. You can find them on Amazon, Target, Costco, Sam's Club, or you can head to trueclassic.com/Arrowhead. That's where I'm going to get my next order to try them out for yourself. Support the show. If you need t-shirts, they look great under flannels, everything. Love True Classics, and really appreciate them supporting the show. All right, that's it for the reads.
Hey, question
Sterling.
for you.
Yeah.
Really good call by Kevin here. Patrick needs a mustache because right now we have an absolute caterpillar sandwich going on. You're trying out a beard, and since you already have the beard there, have we thought about just cutting the rest off and leaving said stash? Because I think that's what the viewers want, nay, what the viewers need.
Yeah, listen, maybe when I decide to shave the beard for the viewers, I will give everybody the chance to make a child predator poster. But I don't think my mustache, I mean, you can kind of see it. It's nice, and it's got some good things going on down here. It's nice and long. I don't think it works without the beard. I don't think I've got enough heft and fullness like you gentlemen do. I need the beard to have the mustache. I mean, you can kind of, what do you think here? This, I don't know, man. Huh? It looks kind of chinless.
It looks like, so I can't.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a chin. I wouldn't have a chin, but I mean, I got some length here. I could probably start to curl
that bad boy. Okay, yeah. We've gone on long enough talking about this because I didn't want to talk about the special teams miscues, but here we are, and now we have to. Butker looked good yet again. Made a great play. Lane also on the kickoff, just getting the ball at the 1 because Butker put a nice little spin, little move on that bad boy. You saw Ariza look good. Also, I think Ariza's been great all season long. He's been very underrated. We haven't seen him a lot, and so that also helps. But look at some of the underlying numbers, the inside the 20%. I still believe he's not had a touchback all season long. Incredible. Big fan of Ariza. But Remigio's look good as well. Dog. Tobe. I love you, Dave Tobe. You've been a really good special teams coach. Why is there a penalty almost every single return? At some point, just tell your guys, stop doing that. You know you're not going to get away with it. So stop. I get it. You try and do some things on special teams to get, win in the margins. Fun. Also, I get it. But when you keep getting called, you're clearly going to keep getting called. So stop doing it. I get so frustrated when it's like, yay, nice return by Remigio. And a guy 40 yards away is just blocking a dude in the back for no apparent reason. Why? Cochran. Why? Who now has more interceptions than probably half the dudes in the Chiefs secondary. So good for him. But I get so annoyed with this. Something has to be done because it's going to cost you at some point.
It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
The thing about it, too, is Patrick Mahomes, nobody's better at manufacturing long 80, 90-yard drives. You have the best quarterback in the league. You don't need to be a hero on kickoff return. Don't put him in a hole. It just is totally unreasonable. And like Jack Cochran at this point should be a Walmart greeter tomorrow. I mean, it's just happened too many times. Like, what are you doing out there? And Dave Tobe, I don't know. He's been so good for so long, but this is a recurring problem.
I love his comment. It goes, killer coaching advice. Just do the thing, you guys. Yeah, just do the thing. Stop holding them. That is coaching advice. Tobe tells him, stop holding or we're going to pull your ass. I get it. I'm not trying to be the guy who's creating the wheel right now. I'm basically trying to say, stop holding or pushing a guy in the back or you're going to be pulled.
Yeah.
I just find it asinine that we have to tell a guy, hey, that's illegal. You know how you do it 2 times a game? Stop it.
It's the same thing that we were saying weeks ago when I was ranting about Jawan Taylor. And I was like, just bench him. Just bench him. He gets paid millions of dollars and he can't stand still and line up in the right spot. And we talk about coaching advice. There's nothing to say to somebody like that. Coach, like don't move until the ball gets snapped. Stand behind the line of scrimmage. That's it, right? Or stand at the center's belt. That's it. That's the advice. Don't hold. Like, there's nothing Dave Tobe can't scheme up like to get guys to not hold on kick and punt returns. So I agree with you, Sterling. Stop it, because by some miracle of God, and I'm knocking on wood, and I'm going to go light a candle after this podcast, Jawan Taylor somehow seems to have figured out how to stop being a penalty machine. I mean, he did get a penalty
at night in the red zone. He did get one.
Was it a holding call?
Yeah.
It was. That was because Pat bailed. I don't blame him for that one too much. But like you're an offensive lineman playing tackle for Patrick Mahomes. Like, you're going to get a holding penalty every once in a while. But like the pre-snap penalties makes you want to like pull your hair out. This guy, he's like the greatest chief of all time now. Since he stopped doing that, like, I'm so thrilled. I can't even.
Let's pump the brakes a little bit here now.
I'm so happy.
Willie Rove and Brian Waters did play here.
Yeah, Will Shields, like a guy named Shields.
I'm just so happy because it makes such a massive
Mitchell
difference
Schwartz,
for this
maybe,
offense, right?
You know,
you see it. You see the massive difference it makes for this offense. And on special teams, stop making Patrick Mahomes have to take the team 90 yards for God's sake. Just, it's not like we're returning kicks for touchdowns anyway. So just get the yards you can and then let the Hall of Fame quarterback come in and do the rest.
Dante Hall is not walking through that door. Relax.
Right. Nico's fine, right? He's good. But just simmer down, fellas. And then Butker, still a little nervous about some Butker stuff, at that kickoff over there close to the sideline.
I thought he was great this game. Back-to-back games, I thought he was really good.
Yeah, I'm still nervous about him and those kickoffs because that one could have gone out of bounds.
It did it? I don't know.
It didn't. I know it didn't, but like he's got like a country mile of field to put the ball into. So
Right.
it's special teams, right? Like we shouldn't even be worried about it. It should be, it shouldn't be anywhere near the sideline. But look, these are holding on special teams.
That's a Tobe call, I'm assuming, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm assuming when he kicks to the corner, that's because they wanted him to do. I'm sure that's a call. That's a play call of, hey, kick it here. This is where we're setting up. This is how the defense is going to set up here. So I think part of it, I'm not disagreeing with you, Patrick, on some of it. Again, it cost him in the Jacksonville game, obviously, but I don't think it's all on Bucker. I think it's a legitimate play call of what he's being told to do as well. So I think there is some room for nuance here. My personal opinion.
Yeah, I'll give you that one. All right, I think it's time to get out some hardware. So Adam, why don't you kick us off? If you're watching our stream for the first time, by the way, if you are, check out the link in the description if you want to become an Arrowhead Addict member. I was having a lot of fun with the guys in the private Discord, the members watching the game tonight. And this is called Earning Their Arrowheads. This is where we hand out some awards, players that we feel like earn their arrowheads with their play in tonight's game. So let us know and fire off in the chat who you think should get an Arrowhead. Adam, why don't you start us off?
It's not going to be a player. It's going to be Andy Reid, because people who listen to this show know one of my hobby horses for the entire time I've been back has been Andy Reid being conservative on fourth down. And he has been born again as all-in Andy, as Riverboat Reid. He is as aggressive as anybody in the league right now. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's confidence in the offense. I don't know if it's him thinking the defense is a little worse. Maybe it's the new kickoff rules. Greg Olson talked about this the last week. The touchback spot is now the 35-yard line. So missing a field goal and giving the ball, I mean, it's like, what's the difference, right? So go for it. But I think it has really helped the Chiefs. And I'll give the other one to Kareem Hunt, because, I mean, he's a one-man tush push. His efficiency on fourth down is crazy. His vision is just a short yardage weapon. There are a lot of things he's not, but he's one of the best short yardage backs I've ever seen, and probably the best short yardage back in Kansas City since Marcus Allen, another player who just had a preternatural nose for getting through holes and picking up, short conversions. So what those two guys are doing to keep drives extended and alive is one of the most underrated storylines of this season for the Chiefs, like turn around their offense and becoming a team that's scoring like 30 points a game now.
I miss the days of opening up the newspaper to read the box score and seeing Marcus Allen 2-yard touchdown run, Marcus Allen 1-yard touchdown run. He converted every time. Sterling, what about you, man? Who's getting some hardware?
Mitch Holtis, because that means I don't have to listen to Troy Aikman. I'll go Kingsley Suamataia. I think deserves one again in this game. The reason why I keep talking about him, by the way, I'm sure some people are like, you bring him up a lot, Sterling, because I think we need to have the same excitement for him when we had the same disappointment for him last year, and even to an extent this offseason. I mean, Kingsley Suamataia has been really, really good the last 5 games, and I think he's helped out on those short. Yes, it's Kareem Hunt a lot. Yes, Kareem. But I think Kingsley's been really good getting a nice push in the run game. He's not given up hardly any pressures. I want to look back and see what he did this game because over the past 3 or 4 weeks, it had been either 0 or 1 pressure given up by Kingsley. I mean, he has been damn good at left guard. So I think I want to continue to give him credit for what he's done in this transition. The tackling, yeah, actually great call. I see it right there. Mickey, the tackling overall by this Chiefs defense, that to me really stood out. How many times did you see a pass out, a swing pass where it's one-on-one in the flat and the guy went for 0 yards? All the time. Whether it's Cook or Watson or Hicks or McDuffie, it doesn't matter. They found ways to get it done. And then the final one, I apologize since I haven't really given a player yet necessarily outside of Kingsley. On the defensive side, I will go Mike Dana. I'll go Mike Dana for him. Again, I don't care if the ball landed in his hands. I don't care if he wasn't getting blocked on that free rush to Mariota. He did his job. He brought him down. It is hard to not get shook by a quarterback, a guy who's going to be more athletic and quicker than you are. It is tough, even when a ball lands towards you. I'm sure he doesn't sit there on the jugs machine waiting for balls to come his way. So shout out Mike Dana, doing the right thing, having himself a nice game. Shout out to you.
Shout out to KCDC for the super chat. Raymond Chandler gets the Arrowhead for flying in with his grandkids for Monday Night Football. I'll give Caliendo one. Cheers. Way to go, Raymond, in Arrowhead for the game tonight. I'm going to give one to, I was going to give one to Mike Dana because that was an incredible game by him. But how about George Karlaftis in this one? Picks up a sack, has a pass defended. Great game by him, was applying pressure most of the evening. And, I'll give one to number 15. Not a great first half. He had like 80 yards or something, 90 yards passing in the first half. He had one interception that he probably shouldn't have thrown. Hollywood was covered. The other one wasn't his fault, but I think he kept his MVP case alive. The interceptions don't help, but he finishes the game with 299 yards, 3 touchdowns, averaging 8.8 yards per attempt. And look, he was under duress a little bit in this one. This is not an ideal situation long term. Shout out to Mike Caliendo and Jalen Moore for stepping up, but I'm glad they rested Trey Smith for this one, because they may have looked at this game and looked at like Jaden Daniels not playing, and they may have been like, all right, like let's give Trey the week off, see how he is next week for a big game in Buffalo. And look, if he's not right for Buffalo, as much as I want him in there for that, you got the bye the following week. You got a long way to go. So you can afford to sit him if you need to. But this, and obviously we're at the mercy of, we don't know what for Joshua Simmons, and we hope that he's back soon. But we need Trey Smith back in there, because it's, not having 2 of your starting offensive linemen is trouble. Balloons, Sterling.
Didn't mean to do balloons, was trying to hold my hand up like I was a kid in 3rd grade. I do want to go back to KCDC and just shout out Raymond Chandler. He's been a big part of the Arrowhead Addict Discord, the Arrowhead Addict fam, for a long, long time. Yeah. He's always there, show up to happy hours, and flying in with the grandkids for Monday Night Football. We had talked about it for a while. I was down actually in Lamar, Missouri for my friend's birthday. I wanted so bad to meet up with him on Sunday. Just great guy. Always appreciate his positivity as well. I really hope he had a great time there. The Chiefs hopefully gave him a great game. And in that first half, he's probably thinking, why did I fly here? Second half felt a lot better. So shout out to you, Raymond. Always appreciate you hanging out and being a part of what we do here with Arrowhead Addict. And then another one from Jesus. Sterling needs to give a contract extension to Andy Heck for calling for his job all off season. Hey. I don't know if I called for his job. Well, I said he's going to be in the hot seat. I said that he is going to be on a very, very hot seat. Just a lava hot seat. And he has been outstanding. So you're correct. Jesus, you're right. I've been harsh on Andy Heck for what he's in the past about 4 to 5 years. This year, Andy has been outstanding. Andy Heck, here's to you. Even with some pieces moving in and out, some rookie, a new guy at left guard, you are finding ways to get it done. So you're correct. He deserves a lot of credit.
Boys, how did we not mention the Rashee Rice Wildcat? How exciting that was. That new wrinkle. Yeah. That new wrinkle in the red zone is going to be a lot of fun, because this isn't the old your granddaddy's McCole Hardman Wildcat. This is a different animal, man. That was exciting.
That was cool, man. And don't be surprised if at some point he throws a little pop pass, because Andy likes to put some stuff on tape. We're going to run it at Rashee and the Wildcat a couple of times. And then the next thing you know, he's going to be throwing a pop pass to Mike Caliendo or something, who reports in as eligible.
I don't know about his aim, though, because he threw the ball and hit a guy in the helmet accidentally, and everyone thought it was on purpose. He got a penalty, and I guess it really was accidentally, and he might just have bad aim. So do we really want him throwing the ball?
He certainly can't steer a car.
Brother, that was a buzzkill. I think he was trying to throw it to the ref, but at the same time, that guy was clearly in front of the ref. It looked, I think, worse than the intent was. but you got to call a flag there. I don't think there's any two ways about it. You have to throw a flag. I will say, I think I'm in the minority, and so I think I'm wrong. When I saw it, I didn't think the Mahomes, it wasn't roughing because it was after the play. I didn't love
Johnny
that.
Newton play?
Yeah, I didn't love that because I would be really upset if that happened to a Chiefs player. I think Newton was towing the line, but it wasn't like he landed on him. It is what it is. Doesn't matter. I think I'm in the minority there. I just my personal opinion. I was gonna say I was talking with Mitchell Schwartz for the past couple of days since you brought him up, and he talked about how Andy Reid loves doing these trick plays and giving the players a lot of opportunity to come to him with this. And I thought that was super cool. I did a whole cooking show with Mitchell Schwartz for the past 2 days at the Joko home renovation show in KC. It was a great time. He made a great pork tenderloin. It was a blast talking with him. I want just real quick story because that was fun. I asked him, did you know it was like a certain moment when you thought that Patrick Mahomes was going to be special? And he goes, no, honestly, no. He came in and looks great in training camp. He goes, guys look great in training camp all the time. He was very cautious. He's like, yeah, man, I don't know. Guys are always making these plays and they get in a game and they clam up. And he goes, it was the game against the Broncos. And he goes, the most impressive thing wasn't just the throws or any of that stuff. He goes, there was no procedural penalties. He goes, a lot of times when there's a rookie or a guy who's starting for the first time, the amount of delay of games or the amount of times when you get to the line of scrimmage with 3 seconds left, I thought was wild. And so just the stuff that we don't think about a lot of times, maybe in the media or as fans, but what players think about. And I thought it was such an interesting conversation with Mitchell. It was more the mental side of things when he knew that Patrick was going to be a really good player.
He never gets delays of game, really. Delay of games, now that I think of it.
Yeah, he really is. And that graphic, by the way, that they showed on the broadcast with the it was like the old Madden vision cone. Do you remember that? Like where they were showing
not the Guardians of the Galaxy one. That was yeah. Pretty weird, right?
where they were showing where he was looking as he was going through progressions, and that was one of the coolest graphics I've seen on a broadcast in some time. And it was just really insane to see. He looks here, he looks here, he looks here. All the while he's maneuvering around the pocket. I'm going to go back and watch that tape every game. I'm going to go back and watch that again so I can just kind of like slow-mo through it. But the amount of times I mean, you see some of these guys, right? Justin Fields, he stares down one guy, and if it's not there, he's running. Patrick sometimes he looks at everybody twice. I mean, that graphic was so cool. And then he finds and that actually, and I know you guys hate Troy Aikman, but that backed up what he was saying, because I was kind of like, he kept saying Mahomes is great vision. And like he always said it after they like blew a coverage and Mahomes threw to a wide open guy. And I was like, what? Of course he has great vision on this play. Like that nobody covered him. But when they went back and they showed that vision cone thing, I saw what Aikman was talking about, which is like, yeah, like he threw to a wide open guy, but he checked every receiver 3 times while maneuvering around the pocket before Kelce leaked out. So I actually thought that was a good comment, but shout out to you, Troy Aikman, even though all Chiefs fans hate you.
It's not just his vision, but defenders, he's tricky with his eyes. You don't know where he's going. He doesn't telegraph it. And in fact, sometimes he telegraphs something that he's not doing as misdirection.
Yeah, he's fantastic. And he is, I think, still the leader for the MVP. Tuxit says Sterling just chillaxing on his couch. You got to love it, man. You got to love it. All right, everybody, we're going to get out of here.
Barry White next, maybe some Charlie Wilson.
Yeah. Well, this is a big week here at the Arrowhead Addict podcast because we have a Monday Night Football game. That means that we have another game this week, a big one coming up against the Buffalo Bills. So you're going to want to make sure you're here for all of our shows this week. We got the Intangibles, Wacky Wednesday, the Kingdom's Queens, Tuesdays with Sterling, and of course the OG Hour with me, Patrick Allen. And Adam, you're with me this week, right? I think this is an Adam Best week. So should be a lot of fun on Thursday. If you like movies, make sure you stop by for that show as well. Thank you to producer Richard for getting this thing up and running, and to all of our members for their incredible and generous support of the show. If you want to be one of those people, we got a fantasy football league going on that I'm doing quite well in. How are you doing over there in the other league there, Sterling?
Well, Scattaboo, I'm doing great. I'm doing outstanding. But Scattaboo's injury is not ideal for you, boy.
Yeah. Not.
And I got
Not
last
good.
in my money league and this week. So we do a weekly money. We do a weekly league with my guys from college. We're doing it forever. Won last year, humble brag. Credit to me for being humble about it. And the lowest score of each week has to chug a beer Tuesday morning and send a video in to everyone in the group. And guess who gets that tomorrow?
Oh, nice.
This guy. Yeah, not great.
Then you gotta get to work. But
Apparently
listen, before we go, we have something special lined up for those Arrowhead Addict members. Each month, we're running an exclusive giveaway just for Arrowhead Addict members. This October, we've got some fantastic prizes lined up. If you're a Ring of Honor tier, you're going to be in the running to win a Joshua Simmons jersey, and all the other amazing members are in for a Chiefs baseball cap giveaway. All you have to do is be a member of either of those tiers by the end of October. We'll announce these giveaways live on the OG Hour on the first Thursday of every month, so be sure to tune in. Signing up is easy. Just click the link in the description of our YouTube video. Arrowhead Addict members not only get entered into these exclusive giveaways, but they get access to the private Discord we've mentioned with the hosts, member happy hours, fantasy football leagues, and more. We'd love to get to know you better. So what are you waiting for? Become an Arrowhead Addict member and support the show. All right, everybody. Chiefs move to 5-3 and a big matchup against the Buffalo Bills this week. For Adam Best, for Sterling Holmes, for producer Richard, I'm Patrick Allen. We'll see you on tomorrow's show. But until then, as always, go Chiefs.